If you are someone who's been using ChatGPT for a long time, so Codex was launched in February. Okay, it's an amazing super app where you can do so many things which you cannot do just alone in ChatGPT. So in this video, we'll be talking about Codex. I'll be explaining you everything which is there in Codex and how you can use it. And हम बात कर रहे होंगे सब चीज़ों के बारे में, जैसे हो गए skills, plugins, projects क्या होते हैं, तुम project कैसे बनाते हो. So if you are a complete beginner who has never used any coding assistant tool, who has just used ChatGPT, then this video is for you. Hi guys, I'm Nishan Chahar. I'm an ex-Microsoft software engineer who left Microsoft, started a company which got acquired by another company, and now I've raised funds again to start my new company. And I've been using these AI tools like Codex every single day for the past 4-5 months. And I am one of the power users of all this. So whenever a new thing comes, I am on top of it. मैं उसको हमेशा try करता हूँ. I learn and I want to impart the same knowledge to you guys. So watch this video till the end, because I'll be talking about everything that you need to know as a student or a developer about Codex. So सबसे पहले देखते हैं कि Codex exactly है क्या. So Codex को ये लोग बोलते हैं it's your AI assistant for work. So it can do anything and everything. I'll walk you through it once. So if you're a developer, you should definitely try using Codex, because like most of the companies are now using Codex. So Codex can work as your research assistant. It can get things on your behalf. Earlier when you were using ChatGPT, तो मुझसे बस क्वेश्चन पूछते थे, ChatGPT तुम्हें आंसर दे देता था. It did not have access to your files, it did not have access to your desktop, and you were not able to do a lot of things which you can do now. As you can see, even this, debug duplicate stripe charges using attached logs, screenshots in Slack, thread and linear. So you can actually add these apps which will pull data from these particular apps, and this is what plugin is. We'll be talking about this later on. Similarly, you can make good work repeatable. You can actually create automations using Codex. And you stay in control. So you can connect a lot of plugins and you can turn off, add details, whatever you want to share with Codex or not. And that is pretty much about it. So if you are someone who wants to download it, you just need to click on download for macOS and it will start downloading. Once this is done, you just have to follow the steps. Once the steps are complete, this is a window that will open. This is the Codex window. So I'll just show you how it looks. I'll log out. So once you download, this is what Codex will look like. I'll click on continue with ChatGPT. I'll log in with my account and done. So once you log in, this is the screen that is visible. So यहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीज़ें तुम्हें दिख रही होंगी. तुम्हें साइड में प्रोजेक्ट्स दिख रहे होंगे. इसके साथ साथ तुम्हें एक नीचे चार्ट दिख रही होगी. चार्ट के साथ ऑटोमेशंस, कोडेक्स मोबाइल, प्लगइन्स एंड न्यू चार्ट. सो विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट ईच ऑफ दीज थिंग्स वन बाय वन. अब सबसे पहले दिमाग में तुम्हारे यही क्वेश्चन आ रहा होगा कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ChatGPT एंड Codex. ठीक है, तो ChatGPT एक चार्ट इंटरफेस है. इसमें तुम क्वेश्चंस पूछते हो, ChatGPT तुम्हें आंसर दे देता है. इट कैन नॉट do things on your behalf. On the other hand, Codex is a super app. It can do a lot of things. For example, तुम्हें किसी एक कैंपेन के लिए इमेज जनरेट करवानी, you can do that. You can use different plugins. For example, तुम Remotion का प्लगइन यूज करके अपने लिए वीडियो या फिर एनिमेशंस क्रिएट करवा सकते हो. तुम्हें किसी कोड में बग्स फाइंड आउट करने हैं तो तुम इसके साथ कनेक्ट कर सकते हो. GitHub को पूरे प्रोजेक्ट का एक्सेस दे दो. इट विल ट्राई टू फाइंड बग्स एंड इवन सॉल्व इट फॉर यू. इफ यू वांट टू क्रिएट सम ऑटोमेशंस की तुम्हें हर फ्राइडे को एक बारी सैनिटी चेक करवाना है अपनी रेपोज का कि वहाँ पे कोई बग्स तो नहीं है, यू कैन क्रिएट एन ऑटोमेशन विच विल रन एवरी फ्राइडे एट अ पर्टिकुलर टाइम. So all these things can now be done using Codex. So once all this is done, this is the interface that you open with. तो तुम्हें क्या करना है, सबसे पहले एक प्रोजेक्ट क्रिएट करना है. तो we'll create a new project from scratch. So इसको हम नाम दे देते हैं टेस्ट प्रोजेक्ट फॉर नाउ. I've already created multiple projects as you can see on the side. And यहाँ पे तुम्हें फिर सारी और चीज़ें दिख जाएंगी. For example, as you can see यहाँ पे तुम्हें first of all दिख जाएगा कौन सा मॉडल we are using. So you can use multiple models. Currently the best model is ChatGPT 5.5. You can use ChatGPT 5.5, 5.4 या 5.4 mini. Then तुम स्पीड यूज़ कर सकते हो. फास्ट चाहिए तो इसमें यूसेज ज़्यादा होगी बट तुम्हें जल्दी आंसर्स मिल जाएंगे. मैंने डिफॉल्ट पे रखा हुआ है. इसके साथ रीजनिंग तुम्हें कौन सी चाहिए, तो आई यूज़ इट मोस्टली ऑन हाई. सो इफ़ यू हैव अ टास्क जिसमें तुम्हें ज़्यादा रीजनिंग चाहिए, जिसमें तुम्हें ज़्यादा लॉजिकल सेंस चाहिए, तो यू कैन यूज़ एक्स्ट्रा हाई. तो अगर तुम्हारा टास्क बहुत ज़्यादा सिंपल है तो यू कैन यूज़ लो रीजनिंग फॉर दैट, बिकॉज इवन विद लो रीजनिंग इट विल बी एबल टू डू दैट टास्क फॉर यू. एंड तुम्हारे जो टोकन्स हैं वो कंपैरेटिवली कम यूज़ होंगे. इसके साथ साथ तुम्हें यहाँ पे दिख रहा होगा ये परमिशंस वाला टैब है. यहाँ पे करंटली जो डिफॉल्ट होता है विच इज आस्क फॉर अप्रूवल. देयर आर टू अदर ऑप्शंस. वन इज अप्रूव फॉर मी एंड द थर्ड वन इज फुल एक्सेस. इफ यू क्लिक अप्रूव फॉर मी तो इट विल अप्रूव अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स ऑन इट्स ओन. एंड इफ यू यूज फुल एक्सेस तो अनरिस्ट्रिक्टेड एक्सेस मिल जाएगा तुम्हारे पूरे पीसी का. आई वुड नॉट रिकमेंड गिविंग दैट, बट you can give approve for me for a lot of projects. That is what I do. And if you click here, you can find different files you can attach. You can use a plan mode, you can pursue a goal. What do you mean by pursue a goal? If you define a goal कि मुझे इस वाली वेबसाइट पे ये वाला काम करके देना है. For example, you want to create your website and you want to deploy it somewhere. The final goal is to deploy that website. You just define that goal and click on pursue goal. So it will work until that goal is finished. That is what pursue goal is. Similarly, plan mode में it will first create a plan and then work on that particular plan. तो आई थिंक तुम्हें बेसिक इंटरफेस तो समझ आ गया होगा. वील टॉक अबाउट द अदर थिंग्स लाइक प्लगइन्स एंड ऑटोमेशंस एज वी गो अलोंग, बट दिस इज द बेस ऑफ व्हाट कोडेक्स इज. सो हमने इसको टेस्ट प्रोजेक्ट का नाम लिया था. लेट्स रीनेम इट एंड वी विल कॉल इट प्लेसमेंट प्रेप हब. So once you create a project, Codex को एक workspace मिल जाती है. It can create files, edit files, read files from that particular workspace. As you can see, we created this when I clicked on a new chart and clicked here. There are files, a browser, there are multiple review changes and a terminal which I can open. If I click on files, you can see this is the directory in which our current project is. Similarly, if you want to open a terminal, you just have to toggle this and it will open a terminal in that particular project for you. Ab, what is the difference between a chart and a project? So you can actually create chart as well in Codex. As you can see, यहाँ पे अगर मैं क्लिक करूँगा तो यहाँ पे चार्ट ओपन हो जाएगी. चार्ट ना किसी एक पर्टिकुलर वर्क स्पेस के साथ अटैच नहीं है. यू कैन आस्क जेनरिक क्वेश्चंस एज यू डू इन ChatGPT. बट जब तुम्हें एक पर्टिकुलर वर्क स्पेस के अंदर क्वेश्चंस पूछने होते हैं, उस कोड का एक्सेस देना होता है, उसमें और फाइल्स क्रिएट करवानी होती है, एडिट करवानी होती है, देन प्रोजेक्ट इज अ बेटर वे टू डू. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई हैव क्रिएटेड अ project for all the automations that I create. I created a project for my miles, the product that we are building. उसमें कुछ भी होता है तो मैं वहाँ डालता रहता हूँ. A lot of the charts that were earlier I did, I removed them because memory ज़्यादा full हो गई थी मेरे laptop की. So I wanted to clear cache, so I removed some of the charts. Similarly, I have created a project for images. If I want to create any images, I've created a project for my videos. If I want to create motion graphics for my videos, I use this. I was trying to run Google ads, so I created a project where it was helping me to create Google ads and optimize those Google ads for me. Currently, हमने जो placement prep वाला project बनाया है, this is empty, right? There is no context, nothing in this. Let's add some context to this. So I have added a prompt. As you can see, I'm a final year engineering student preparing for placements and software roles. I'm working on DSA, core CS subjects, dev projects, interview preparation. Use this project for study material, coding projects, mock questions and progress tracking. Always prioritize accuracy, clear explanation, practical interview relevance and resume worthy qualities. Assume I understand basic programming but explain advanced concepts clearly. So we'll just enter. So this will give some context to Codex about what we want to do with this particular project. So basically अब मैंने इसमें प्रोजेक्ट बना दिया. प्रोजेक्ट मेरा as you can see यूजर निशान डॉक्यूमेंट टेस्ट प्रोजेक्ट बना है क्योंकि इनिशियली हमने इसका नाम टेस्ट प्रोजेक्ट दिया था, बस हमने बाद में रीनेम कर दिया है. एंड as you see, I was using ChatGPT 5.5 with reasoning as high and ask for approvals. So I will change this approve for me. So अब कुछ चीज़ों के लिए automatically मेरे लिए approve कर देगा. So this is the basic setup which you will see or which you will have to do whenever you are building a new project on Codex. So whenever you are preparing for any interview, the first thing that you need to do is जब भी तुम DSA questions कर रहे हो, कुछ भी कर रहे हो, एक Excel sheet बनाना होता है to track your progress. So we can use Codex to do that for us. अब इससे पहले मैं बताऊं तुम्हारे लिए कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें हैं दैट वी विल बी लर्निंग. सो एज यू कैन सी देयर आर प्लगइन्स, मल्टीपल प्लगइन्स हियर एज यू कैन सी. सो फर्स्ट आई विल टेल यू व्हाट अ प्लगइन इज. I have already connected spreadsheet as the plugin here. So ये मेरे लिए sheets automatically बना देगा whenever I will ask Codex to do it for me. But if you see, there are more than 100 plugins available. So plugins like computer use, Chrome, spreadsheet, presentation, GitHub, Slack and many more. So whenever you want to do any task, if you are working with a third party app, फॉर एग्जाम्पल फिग्मा के साथ तुम्हें कोई फिग्मा का डिज़ाइन बनाना है या फिर तुम्हें क्रोम पे कोई वेबसाइट से इन्फॉर्मेशन लेके आनी है, तो क्रोम पे अगर तुम्हें वेबसाइट से कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन लेके आनी है, सो व्हाट यू कैन डू इज यू कैन यूज कोडेक्स का जो क्रोम प्लगइन है दैट, सो इट विल गेट एक्सेस टू योर क्रोम. Another thing, as you can see in the start, one thing is called computer use. So if you connect computer use, Codex can get access to your whole computer and it can do things on your behalf. So for example, तुम्हें कोई वीडियो एडिट करवानी है, कोई थंबनेल बनवाना है, तुम्हें अपनी डेस्कटॉप को क्लीन करवाना है. These are some of the very basic examples that you can use Codex for. इसके साथ साथ जैसे कोई ad campaign रन करवाना है, तुम्हें उसका ROAS improve करवाना है, जब तुम DSA के लिए प्रेप कर रहे हो तो तुमने जो ट्रैकर बनवाया उसमें चीज़ें अपडेट करवानी है, तुम्हें कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा जब तुम आर्टिकल पढ़ रहे हो या वीडियो देख रहे हो, तो उसको एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए तुम्हें कोई असिस्टेंट चाहिए. यू कैन डू एवरीथिंग यूजिंग कोडेक्स. अब प्लगइन की हेल्प से ना तुम थर्ड पार्टी टूल्स के साथ इसको कनेक्ट कर सकते हो एंड काफ़ी सारे एक्स्ट्रा तुम्हें पावर्स मिल जाती हैं, ठीक है, तुम पावर्स की तरह समझ सकते हो, जैसे डेटा एनालिटिक्स. एंड वेरी सिंपल टू ऐड एनी प्लगइन, यू जस्ट हैव टू क्लिक ऑन प्लस, adding data analytics. This is developed by OpenAI itself. So wait for some time and it will add all the relevant skills which are related to this plugin and done. It was added. Similarly मैंने इसमें public equity investment का डाल रखा है, Notion का ऐड कर रखा है, Gmail अपना ऐड कर रखा है. You can add your Teams, Google Calendar and so many more. And there are multiple other like plugins that are available that you can add, as you can see. So if you want to create Canva से कुछ भी तो you can add Canva. I've already added that. So I was talking about Remotion, how you can make motion graphics, and there are multiple other as well for data and data analytics, Mixpanel, SimilarWeb, PostHog, right? And there are multiple developers tool as well. So as I told you, there are more than 100 plugins that you can add. So I've already added GitHub also to this. So for example, it can do a lot of things using GitHub. So I'll just ask it. Using this plugin, tell me what all can be done. So it read everything. What GitHub plugin can do: repository context, fetch repo metadata, pull request, PR review work, issues, comments, reactions, label reviews, CI debugging, publishing local work. The plugin works best if you give me a repo, like an owner or this, and GitHub URL for this, what is the current branch. If we give it a particular URL, it will fetch everything from that, so we can try it out for sure. For example, I've created a old URL. I'll give it, let me just log in. So these are my repositories. One of the most famous ones is this placement prep one. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. What we'll do is we will just copy this, we'll go back, pull everything from this repo. So we have given our particular repo. Now it will use the GitHub plugin to do everything. अब plugins इतने ज़्यादा यूजफुल क्यों है? बिकॉज plugins से ना तुम्हें बहुत सारा कॉन्टेक्स्ट दे सकते हो कोडेक्स को, एंड इट कैन डू टास्क फॉर यू. फॉर एग्जाम्पल तुम्हारा अगर इसमें Gmail कनेक्टेड है, सो एवरी मॉर्निंग यू कैन क्रिएट एन ऑटोमेशन टू फेच ऑल द न्यू ईमेल्स दैट यू गॉट एंड समराइज देम फॉर यू. तुम्हारे लिए कोई पर्टिकुलर टास्क है, तुम्हें वो बता देगा. अनदर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू वांट टू अप्लाई टू अ लॉट ऑफ जॉब्स, व्हाट यू कैन डू इज यू कैन कनेक्ट इट टू अ जॉब फाइंडर वाला plugin and you can ask it to run it every day. See what are the new changes that happened, what are the new openings relevant to your particular job profile, and it will fetch it for you. As you can see, it approved a request because मैंने अपने इसको approve for me वाली permission दे रखी है. But if I change this to ask for approval, whenever it is running any other new like command, it will ask approval from me. So it has pulled everything, as you can see. So there is one more important thing. If you see plugin के side में ना, there is one thing called skills. So skills also get added whenever you add a plugin, and there are like standalone skills as well. So बहुत सारे standalone skill तुम्हें यहाँ पे मिल जाएंगे, जैसे Imagen का है, OpenAI के Docs का है, skill creator है, so you can create your own skills. इसके अलावा plugin creator है, तुम खुद के plugin भी create कर सकते हो, right? So these are all the skills that I have added. As you can see, I've added a lot of skills, right? And it can help you do a lot of things using this. So what exactly is a skill? So skill is a set of instructions जो तुम बार बार ना देना चाहते हो और तुम्हें एक बार ही दे दिए. जैसे जब भी तुम कोई एक नई रेपो में जाते हो, तुम्हें उसमें अंडरस्टैंड करना होता है कि ये रेपो एग्जैक्टली क्या करती है. वट यू कैन डू इज यू कैन क्रिएट अ स्किल फॉर दैट. सो आई कैन जस्ट डू स्किल क्रिएटर एंड दिस विल यूज द स्किल क्रिएटर स्किल टू हेल्प मी क्रिएट अ स्किल. अब जनरली जब भी हम गिटहब पे कोई नई रेपो सेटअप करते हैं तो हमें समझना होता है कि कैसे वर्क फ्लो चलता है, कैसे कोड एग्जीक्यूट होता है. तो वील जस्ट क्रिएट अ स्किल फॉर दैट टू अंडरस्टैंड द सेम थिंग. Create a skill which will help me understand how data flows in a particular repo, create images, create diagrams to make me understand how the whole repo is tied up, where the code goes from, how it actually works, and things like that. Ask me questions before creating this particular skill if you have any doubts. So this is what we want to do. I'll use extra high for this because I do not want it to mess up with creating a skill, and pressed enter. As you can also see, we have started multiple sessions. तो हमने multiple 2-3 sessions साथ में start कर रखे हैं and वो start हो रखे हैं. As you can see, इसने मेरे से question पूछा. Just clicked on allow. So as you can see, our map repo flow is ready. But what we can do now is we can put any open source repo and add map repo flow. It will find how the code is flowing. It will set up the repo for you. Let's give it a shot. While the other thing is working, I'll create a new chart. I'll say map repo flow. This is the skill that we created. अब बस हमें क्या करना है? We just go here. We'll go to all the repos. Let's go to Fossacia. We'll find some repo. Let's pull this only. I'll copy the repo and paste it here. Let's see now what will happen. I'll give it approve for me for now so that we don't get bugged. So हमने क्या किया, एक स्किल बनाया. अब स्किल को हम एक्चुअली टेस्ट करके देख रहे हैं with a very random repo that I have never set up, and we'll see if it can create the flow of the data, how it flows and everything that we asked it to using that. So now Codex is trying to clone that repo, and after cloning that repo, it will create an environment, run that and give us the whole data flow. अब इसके साथ साथ ना there is one more thing. If you click here, open this, you'll find side chat. This is side quest. So you can start a side conversation while the main thing is happening. I created a side quest. What is this repo about? And you can create multiple side quests, as you can see from here. So also Codex के पास browser access होता है, terminal access होता है. You can see all the files. I can even check the terminal. If I click here, it will open a terminal for me in this particular file. I can say ls, and all the files that we currently have are here. Okay, so we can do this too. It's a Fossacia PS Lab app, a Flutter cross-platform science lab application for the Pocket Science Lab open hardware device. So as you can see, it can answer random questions for me now related to this repo while the repo is being set up. If you are doing open source, if you want to do GSOC, anything, if you are new to a company and if you want to learn how the things work, this can be an amazing skill for you. So almost 4-5 minutes हो चुके हैं since we gave Codex a repo. As you can see, it has set it up for itself. पूरा एक बार चेक कर रहा है क्या क्या चीज़ें हैं, सारी चीज़ें चेक करके. I think if we open this, see the files, you can see the PS Lab also added here, and the map is created. And this is what we wanted. So we created a skill. It created the whole design for us, how actually the flow works. You can use the skill to understand whatever repo you are working on. So pretty amazing, and you can create similar skills. As you can see, user that goes to this, then it goes to instrument screens, change notifier providers, blah blah blah, and this is how the whole flow works. This is the primary flow, and this is the readme. Cool. So it created the primary flow for us. How everything is going to work. Pretty neat, right? Similarly, there are so many plugins that you can use. I recently used one of the plugins. I'll show you. I created a motion graphics for one of the videos that I've created recently. As you can see, this is the final video that it created. This is the final animation which was created. As you can see, if I play, this is an animation motion graphics that I created using Codex. So as you can see, multiple projects हम लोगों ने बनाए हैं. मैंने एक पहले प्रोजेक्ट बनाया था, इसमें वीडियोस क्रिएट कर रहा हूँ यूजिंग द रिमोशन प्लगइन. सिमिलरली वी क्रिएटेड अ प्लेसमेंट प्रेप वाला थिंग. इसमें वी डिड अ बंच ऑफ रैंडम स्टफ ऑल्सो. जैसे हमने वीडियो बनवाने का रैंडमली कर लिया, बट वी क्रिएटेड अ स्किल, राइट, which now can be reused multiple times. Whenever we are working on a new repo, you can do that. You can create multiple new skills. So till now we have learned what Codex is. We also learned about plugins. We created our own skill. We saw a lot of skills that you can use. So now next thing is, how does कोडेक्स हैव अ परसिस्टेंट मेमोरी, ठीक है, मेमोरी कैसे रहती है, वो सेम चीज़ों को याद कैसे रखता है. सो देर आर टू पार्ट्स फॉर दिस. द फर्स्ट वन इज कॉल्ड agents.md. So this is agents.md, the simple open format for guiding coding agents used by 60,000 plus open source projects. ठीक है, as you can see, all these companies are using agents.md as the way to tell agents की क्या क्या चीज़ें करनी है, कैसे चीज़ें करनी है. And this is a sample agent.md file. So this is for you. So if you want to give set of instructions to Codex for a particular project, you can create a agent.md file inside that particular project. So if you want your agent to do a set of things whenever you are working on a project, तो तुम उसमें agent.md में बोल सकते हो particularly कि इस चीज़ को याद रखना, इस चीज़ को ऐसे करना, and it will do the same thing for you. अब ये जो instructions होते हैं ना, वो एक agents.md फाइल में ऐड होते हैं. It is not a plugin, नहीं. So it is not a skill. So don't confuse it with a skill. Skill basically तुम यूनिवर्सल हो गई है, ठीक है, यूनिवर्सल सेट ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शंस हैं जो तुम किसी भी चार्ट में ऐड कर सकते हो. ये जो agents.md फाइल है, किसी एक पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर एक फाइल होती है जहाँ पे तुम उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट के लिए कुछ सेट ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शंस ऐड करते हो, एंड दैट इज व्हाट agents.md इज. As you can see, create an agents.md file at the root of the repo. Most coding agents can even scaffold one for you if you ask it nicely. So if you want to create an agents.md file, create an agents.md file for me in this project. Also add some basic instructions like running our skill /map repo whenever we add a new repo to our project. As you can see, the agents.md file is ready and we can open it with any of the apps that you want. So I use cursor, so मैंने cursor पे click किया and it opened the file in cursor for me. So whenever a new repo is added, run the map repo flow. So a set of instructions are added for this agents.md file, and जब भी कोई नई चीज़ होगी ये इस फाइल को go through करेगा and will do the things for us, and we can add more instructions to this particular file. So this acts as a memory for the agent which is working in this particular project, and when we create a new project we'll have to add a new agents.md file in that. Cool. अब इसके साथ साथ there is a automatic memory that gets stored which is called auto memory. So let's see what has been stored in the auto memory as of now. Will do tell me what you have stored and open that file. So it opened the memory.md file that it has created for us till now. So ये पूरी memory है जो भी चीज़ें हमने अब तक करी हैं. As you can see, इसमें इसने सारी details around us store कर दी हैं. That's amazing. So whenever you talk to Codex, it will keep on adding things in memory.md file. क्या तुम्हें पसंद है, कैसे किस चीज़ को करना होता है, कौन सा डिज़ाइन लैंग्वेज तुम्हें पसंद है. So next time when you are creating something new, it will use that memory and automatically do a lot of things on its own. तुम्हें बार बार सेम चीज़ बताने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. तो ये ऑटो मेमोरी होती है. अब इसके बाद two things that are very interesting. One of them is computer use, the other one is तुम्हारा browser use. So for browser use, what you have to do is you just have to go to Chrome Web Store, search Codex here. You'll find this. Click on this. This is the official Codex ka extension. I've already added, as you can see. It is already connected. I've added it. Once you do that, यहाँ पे तुमने connect कर दिया है. You can go to plugins. यहाँ पे come here and you can search browser. तो Chrome का plugin I've already added and it is added. If you enable that, so whatever is there on your browser, it can go through it, read it, and like do things for you. Similarly, the second thing which is more important is using computer use. Computer use will get access to your PC, and इसमें जितने भी files हैं, जो काफ़ी सारे apps हैं जिनका direct access available नहीं है for Codex using plugin, you can do a lot of things in that particular app using computer use. So, for example, in this project only, what I will ask is, कि what are the companies that are hiring right now, compare all the compensation in Bangalore specifically. So which all companies are hiring right now in Bangalore for a software engineer role. software engineer, entry level role with a CTC of more than 12 lakhs. Find 20 jobs for me, and also what are the requirements for the same. So now Codex will decide किसको browser use करना है, इसको कौन सी websites पे जाना है and everything, and then find all the jobs which are relevant for this particular description that I have given. As you can see, it started searching the web, going through multiple websites, and it can even control the web for us. And this is not much, this is very easy thing. सबसे ज़्यादा मज़ा किस चीज़ में आता है, छोटे छोटे अपने मिनी ऐप्स बनवाने में. अगर तुम्हें वाइब कोडिंग पसंद है, तुम्हें खुद के लिए टूल्स बनाना पसंद है, then Codex is a perfect place for you to build tools for you. As you can see, मैं इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा ऑटोमेशन और रिसर्च के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा यूज़ करता हूँ. जैसे आई क्रिएटेड मार्कडाउन टू HTML वाला थिंग. जब भी कोई मेरे को मार्कडाउन फाइल भेजता है या किसी भी एजेंट के साथ बात करते टाइम मार्कडाउन क्रिएट होती है, तो मेरे को विजुअली इतनी अच्छी नहीं लगती. आई लाइक व्यूइंग HTML फाइल्स मोर. सो आई क्रिएटेड जस्ट अ बेसिक प्रोजेक्ट फॉर माई सेल्फ, जिसमें मैं हर मार्कडाउन फाइल को एक HTML फाइल में कन्वर्ट करवा के खुद से व्यू कर सकता हूँ. सिमिलरली अगर तुम्हें कुछ भी प्रोजेक्ट बनाना पसंद है, यू कैन डू दैट एज वेल. while this is running, let's create. So I want you to create a Pathfinder Visualizer where it can use multiple pathfinding algorithms to find a path between two endpoints. Create a UI in which I can add obstacles, and then using multiple algorithms, it will visually show how and which one is faster and how exactly we are finding the path. So I gave a basic context to it, and it will create a Pathfinder Visualizer for me. So I will even ask it to use the front-end system design skill. So while our job finder wala thing is working, let's create a small app which is an interactive pathfinding visualizer using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. One more thing we'll do this time is adding a plan mode. So it will first plan things for us. And another thing that I wanted to do is use our front-end design skill to actually design it. So we have given it a detailed prompt. साथ साथ हमने planning mode on कर दिया and एक skill भी attach कर दिया है. So it has a lot of context and a clear set of instructions to follow. Parallelly, I think we already did, it finished the Bangalore job thing. As you can see, these are some of the jobs that it got for us. So there are total 20 jobs. We can go and check each one of them. As you can see, this is 20 to 30 lakhs and also getting 0.1% equity. The role, as we stated, is in Bangalore. So this is what you can do. You can run multiple tasks in the background as well, and सब चीज़ें parallelly work कर सकती हैं. And it can search the internet for you, find details for you. We can even create an automation for this. So if I want to create this as an automation, so now convert this workflow into an automation where this will run every week to find out jobs which are for an entry level role. I will also attach my resume so that see if that particular job role is relevant for my resume or not. And if it is, give a score how much relevant it is. So let's attach my resume as well for this, and done. As you can see, it first created a plan for us. We'll go through the plan, summarize, add a visualizer, standalone, this. Dark mode, modern app layout, design tokens for colors, blah, blah, blah. These are the algorithms that we want to test. Use a shared grid model, verification, I think it works. So let's implement the plan. So whenever you are doing a task which you want to do like every day, every week, जब भी तुम्हें करना है, तो उसके लिए तुम automation create कर सकते हो, something like this. So I just asked it to create an automation, and it will create an automation for me. Once that is done, the automation will come here. So as you can see, I've created some of the automations already, which run. I've paused these, but these are the two automations which are running currently, and now it will add one more automation in that list. So our automation is ready. This is the weekly automation. This is our resume. As you can see, we will find the automation here. This is all the details. Find 20 job roles. These are all the things that we have added. It added all the like relevant information about me as well, and done. Now the automation can run every Monday, and we'll get all the job roles which are relevant to me. So this is one of the examples of creating an automation. You can create automation for anything. The other automation that I have created is a weekly trend analysis agent that goes and finds trends on agents and what is going on in the agentic market. क्या नई नई चीज़ें आ रही हैं, क्या नई नई चीज़ें वर्क कर सकती हैं, किन पे बना सकते हैं. एक अपॉर्चुनिटी रेडार है. सो इफ समथिंग न्यू कम्स अप, व्हाट आर द अपॉर्चुनिटीज दैट आर रिलेटेड टू इट. तो एक्स प्रोडक्ट हंट, तुम्हारा इसके अलावा हैकर न्यूज़, सबको गो थ्रू करता है एवरी वीक एंड फाइंड्स आउट इंटरेस्टिंग प्रोजेक्ट्स दैट आई कैन वर्क ऑन. Similarly, there were few others like personal wiki, life admin, release notes generator, and a stand-up summarizer that I created. And our Pathfinding Visualizer is currently working. While this is happening, there is one more thing. As you can see, यहाँ पे तुम्हें दिख रहा होगा, there is something called Codex Mobile. So you can run everything from your phone as well. So let's do that. So if you open ChatGPT, do this. You can see Codex here, and we can just click on Get Started. Allow devices to control this computer. We can allow, approve this on your device. I got this message. I'll click on authorize this phone, and done. Now I can use my phone to set up tasks. All the projects that I've created now are on my phone. As you can see, the Pathfinder Visualizer is currently working, and I can ask follow-ups. I can do anything and everything from my phone as well now, which is amazing. And if you want to like work from your phone, तुम कभी बाहर जा रहे हो, कहीं पे काम से जा रहे हो, बट तुम्हें बहुत सारी चीज़ें करनी है, तुम्हें डेस्कटॉप का एक्सेस देना है, तो you just need to keep your Mac awake. If you click on this, then your Mac will be awake and your Codex will work. Similarly, there is one more thing which is set up Chrome extension. We have already added Chrome extension, so it can use the Chrome to do other tasks as well for us, which is amazing. I think I'll turn this on, done. And Codex on mobile is working. And now I can even check what is going on. I can go for a walk while it is creating project or working on my tasks. Whatever you are doing, you can actually check on your phone, give instructions, check if the work is done or not. You can ask it to test things while you are on a walk. So it is opening our visualizer as the code is ready. Now we will also ask it to test our app if everything is working properly or not, and you can create a testing loop or a QA agent using Codex too. I'll click on this, I'll open the browser, and let's wait, and it's done. As you can see, this is the Pathfinder algorithm that we created. We'll add some obstacles randomly everywhere, and we created a wall. Start and end is already there. Let's start end walls visualize. So as you can see, it created a visualizer for us. This is Digistra का. So Digistra का ये try कर रहा है visualize करने का to find the path for us. I think it's almost done. And 2 के बाद it will find the path, and done. So this is Digistra. We can use A star as well. We'll click on visualize. It will create the A star. This is one of the algorithms which is being used in Google Maps. As you can see, it is much faster. काफ़ी जल्दी इसने शॉर्टेस्ट पाथ निकाल लिया कंपैरेटिवली. सिमिलरली अगर मैं BFS से टेस्ट करूं और इसको स्पीड को थोड़ा बढ़ा देते हैं, सो ये BFS से इसने टेस्ट किया. It took similar time as Digistra, and we can even do with DFS visualize. But DFS का जो path था वो सबसे लंबा था, as we can see. So now what we will do is we will ask Codex to see if the code can be improved or not. So I've added a prompt. Test this Pathfinder Visualizer, run each algorithm, verify if everything is working or not. I think it is doing it on its own, but we'll try it again. एंड इसके साथ साथ ना यूजिंग गिटहब का प्लगइन तुम इसको पब्लिश भी कर सकते हो. ये एंटरप्राइज यूजर्स के लिए एंड बिजनेस ChatGPT यूजर्स के लिए दे एडेड अ न्यू फीचर कॉल्ड @sites. इफ यू ऐड दैट, इट कैन एक्चुअली पब्लिश whatever you have built to a GitHub site, and then तुम उसको किसी अपने दोस्तों के साथ या कहीं पे भी share भी कर सकते हो. So that is also an interesting thing. So while this is working, let's go through what all we have learned. We learned about what exactly is Codex, how you can create projects, what this chart means, what are all the options that are available here, क्या क्या चीज़ें तुम इनसे कर सकते हो. इसके साथ साथ one more thing that I left behind was कि तुम जो भी तुमने कोड लिखा है ना, वो एक्चुअली किसी भी कोड एडिटर के साथ भी ओपन कर सकते हो. तुम्हें ऊपर ऑप्शन मिल जाता है to do that. This is the path visualizer that we created. As we asked it to create a basic HTML file, it created that. This is the project that we like added, जो हमने Git का इसको दिया था, GitHub का जो project दिया था, जो इसने locally setup किया. And इसके साथ साथ और भी जितने भी outputs थे वो तुम्हें यहाँ पे मिल जाएंगे. And even the agents.md file is here, the gitignore file is here, and we asked it to set up PS Lab app, it did it here. So you can actually use any tool, so you can use any IDE then to go through the code if you want. And yeah, that is also one thing you can do. Parallelly, as you can see, it has access to the app and it is trying to run automations and test. Now currently Codex is trying to run the app and test it. As you can see, there is a cursor, it has its own cursor and it's trying to run things. And it even found a bug. So the main bug is click to toggle wall works, but drag drawing only painted one wall extra cell in the browser test. This causes a pointer capture plus only drag handler. So I am going to switch wall dragging to a pointer view, blah blah blah. So it found a problem कि जब हम यहाँ पे drag करके बना रहे थे तो drag नहीं करने दे रहा था, individually लगा पा रहे थे, and it will now create a drag वाला option which will help us create the walls in a more smoother manner. So you can set up this as an automation whenever you write some new code. Codex will go and test that app for you. So as you can see, let's get back. We talked about plugins, we talked about skills, we created our own skill, then we tested our own skill and it worked perfectly. We can also create plugins like this. As you can see, once we go here, there is an option to create a plugin as well. You click plugin creator, help me create a plugin for, and it will create a plugin for you. This is another option that you can do. Then we also learned about side chat, where you can open multiple side chats. You can talk to agent and ask random questions related to the chart that you are having parallelly, and तुम्हें पुरानी chart को disturb करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती. Then we created our own vibe coded tool to visualize paths, very simple one, but you can even create complex tools using this. You can create amazing websites because you have access to remotion, image generation, and it can code for you. So if you want a detailed video on how you can build websites, amazing websites using Codex, because this was a beginner video, we created beginner stuff. If you want an in-depth pro version of the same thing, do let me know in the comment section, we will do that. And I think this is done now. As you can see, it is now creating everything using drag. And if we now click on visualize, I don't know if it will be able to find a path for us or not. Yes, so it found a few bugs, wall drag, cause, fix, everything was done. So I hope you understood everything, you like this video. If you like the video तो वीडियो को like जरूर कर देना, subscribe करना चाहे तो तुमने अब तक नहीं किया है तो, and I'll see you in the next one.